Hello and welcome to my video about racing lines. What are racing lines? Racing lines are basically the fastest and most optimal way to drive a corner. So let's imagine this corner, for example. This is Bob in his bright red Formula 1 car. He wants to drive around in the fastest way possible, so he has to use the optimal racing line. The optimal racing line always hits the apex of the corner, one of the most important parts of the track. If you can hit every apex that you know, then you know that you're driving fast. So now on to the parts of the corners. There are lots of different parts of the corners on Formula 1 tracks, but usually corners are simple. They're just parts of big circles. So you drive up, coming at the speed that you were going, and then you start hitting this point, the braking zone. That's where you start braking, all the way to the end of it until you hit this part, the turning point. This is when you want to turn the steering wheel and your wheels so that you can have a nice gentle ride towards this. Know what it is? Yes, it's the apex of the corner. Once you hit the apex, you're still turning, but not braking or accelerating yet. After the apex, that's when you usually start accelerating, all the way out wide towards here, the exit zone. This is where you want to have the car as straight as possible, so that you can have a nice fast run down to the next corner through the straight. The reason why it's called an exit zone instead of an exit point is because it's basically all over the place here that you want it to be straightened up. There isn't an exact point where you have to have the car straight. Now Bob can drive away. So now on to the types of corners. There are lots of different types of corners on Formula 1 tracks, but the main ones are easy. For example, the right-angled corner. This is kind of obvious for the name, but let's just look at it again. This is the apex of the corner. That's where you want to hit with your car so that you're nice and smooth and fast through the corner. By the way, fun fact, did you know that when talking about cornering speeds, this is the point where they're usually measured? There are also different types of corners, more complicated ones. Instead of one corner, there can be segments of corners, like this one, for example. Here, you need to hit all apexes, which are always different. Sometimes you need to hit an early apex, which is on the radius of the corner very early, or a late apex, which on the radius of the corner is very late. Now on to how to drive corners. As we all know, the point of racing is to drive around as fast as possible. So how do you drive around as fast as possible? Let's summarize. You start out late on the wide side of the track, and then you cut in all the way to the apex of the corner. Then you drive on all the way outwards again. This creates a very large radius that you're covering, and the larger the radius, the faster you can travel through it because of the centrifugal force. You might know this from riding your bike. If you try to drive around in circles that are very small, you won't be able to pick up as much speed as if driving around larger circles. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it, and hope that you can drive your racing lines faster in the future. Good luck.